Hi, Matt Conlon here. If you're watching this, either I found you or you found me, but either way, you probably have some curiosity as to who I am, what I do, how I do it, etc. So if I reached out to you, it's because I think there's a lot of potential with your property that you're probably missing today. And if you're just looking for a property manager for a short-term vacation rental property, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got here. So I'm in my property here in Fountain Hills, Arizona. I kind of stumbled into this 6 or 7 years ago, tried to move from the East Coast out here and had trouble selling our house back east and was in a pinch and needed to pay the mortgage. I was super busy with my, executive position at work, decided to give it a go with Airbnb to pay the mortgage. So anyway, I cobbled it together, thought I kind of knew what I was doing. Things got off to a decent start, but it was a lot of work. Basically keeping track of the calendar and the guest communications and communicating with the cleaning crew and the handyman when that was needed. And I was super busy with work and I was traveling and I'm on the East Coast and the property's out here. I had a decent team here, but still it got to be too much. So eventually I looked around for a property management company, kicked a lot of tires and wound up with Evolve. Basically because they had a low price. I'm like, look, I just need this and that taken off my plate. I have a decent crew. But anyway, I was only with them 3 or 4 months because they did a lousy job bringing in 5-star reviews for my guests. So as it turned out, I also lost all of my Airbnb reviews that I had racked up before I brought them on. So anyway, that wasn't a good experience. And as I talk to more and more people, it's amazing how many people are just not satisfied with their property management company, primarily the national ones, Vacasa, Evolve. I just spoke to a woman this morning who moved to Evolve from Vacasa. And in the past several months, I've immersed myself in the industry, and it's fairly common in the industry to know that property management companies, whether national, regional, and even some locals that are too big, just don't give you the attention you need. So I left my corporate job last spring, and while I was deciding what to do next, I dug into, what I was missing with my own property, with this property here with my Airbnb. And there was so much I was missing. I wasn't doing the pricing right. My booking calendar wasn't full, etc. So as I as I dove into this, I learned what I was doing, not necessarily what I was doing wrong, but how much better I could do. This year, this last rolling year, I did 40% better in revenue than the previous year. And I was enjoying it. I really enjoyed bringing in the 5-star reviews, communicating with the guests. They were all like super thrilled, and I made friends with several of them. So I said to myself, you know what? This is what I want to do. So I, for the past several months, have set myself up as what we call a boutique vacation rental management company. I put my name on it. It's called MC Hosting, Matt Conlon, because I want to be held accountable. I have at this property, and you can see in my listing, my VRBO listing, I have now 72 5-star reviews. I've never gotten anything less than a 5-star review. And it's not because the property is perfect, and it's not because I'm perfect. Things aren't perfect. Things go wrong. I think primarily it's because, yes, I'm all over the property. Things need to be perfect as they can be. Cleanliness, without a doubt. There's no reason to ever get dinged for not having a clean property. But more so than that, it's communication with the guest. And that's how I also get the 5-star reviews. Before the guest even steps foot on the property, as soon as they book, I'm reaching out to them with a personal text message. Just a light touch, but making sure they're excited about their trip and can I do anything before they arrive, etc. When they get here, another touch. Any questions? If something goes wrong, they already know me. They'll tell me something is off or something isn't working right, and I can fix it right away. So throughout all of those many more, I guess it's 75 plus stays, things did go wrong, but I never got less than a 5-star review. And I think it's because of the communication. So Let me get back to this 5-star review thing. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Is your property, is it a nice property? Is it well maintained? Is it clean? You know, all the things that a property needs to be is going to dictate the pricing of the property. But even before the property itself, is the listing attracting the kind of guests that you want to attract? And is it capturing their attention? Is it making them push the book button? All of these nuances in all of my learning over the past several months have made a huge difference for me. So yeah, the listing, how it's written, the photography, professional photography, by far, not only does it look better for guests looking for a property, but it also factors into the search rankings on VRBO and Airbnb. So they recognize professional photography when they see it, and that impacts the placement of the search of your property. So all of that stuff matters. But all of those factors really are going back to a 5-star guest experience. We want the guest to have that 5-star experience. I've never, ever once asked for a 5-star review. I've earned it. The number of guest reviews on VRBO and Airbnb will dictate your search rankings. So if you're below a 4.9, you're losing money, right? People think a 4.7 is good, a 4.6 or 5. And some people honestly don't even know what their ranking is. They're letting their property management company kind of take care of things and kind of take the checks as they come in. But it's amazing how the ranking directly correlates to the revenue potential of the property and the listing. So everything I do is towards that 5-star review because it's so impactful. So that brings in the operations, the cleaning, the maintenance. Can we turn the property around quickly and without confusion and without forgetting anything for same-day checkouts and check-ins, etc. And speaking of pricing, all of the property management companies, including myself, use data scrape services. I use a company called Price Labs. So a lot of companies use these, which are general data scrapes of market conditions. So they will dynamically change the pricing according to supply and demand, seasonal changes, events in the area, etc. But it's not magic, and your house isn't the market. So you'll get from your property management company a lot of talk about, you know, the market. The way I use Price Lab and the way I price my property, and the same thing I would do for you, is I'm on Price Labs actually hand-picking my competitors. I know exactly who they are. I've hand-picked the 10 or 12 properties that are most similar to mine. I can see their calendars. I see when they're booked. I see what pricing they're booking at. I see their lead time, how far ahead are guests booking their properties versus mine, and I can adjust my pricing accordingly. So you can't go crazy with that, but I'm on that 2 or 3 times a week to be sure that I'm priced exactly where I should be. So my pricing is, I think, at the premium end of my general competitors because I work at it. So that's how dynamic pricing works. It's not magic. It has to be worked, and it can be very complicated, but guaranteed most property management companies are using a set it and forget it philosophy. Okay, you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and you have a pool and you have a sauna. We're gonna price you right in the middle of that. Well, everything else makes a difference too. Your photos, your listing, your other amenities, just the general condition, your reviews, everything makes a difference. So again, my reviews are stronger. I have 72 5-star reviews. I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay at the higher end of pricing here. Going low, I learned this a long time ago, going too low just to fill your calendar up, really because you have nothing else to do other than pricing, is going to bring you the wrong guests. And the wrong guests are not what you want in your property. So yeah, that's who I am. That's what, and I call myself boutique, by the way. You know, you might think, oh, boutique is expensive, and I'm not going to command anything more than what the market does, but I can tell you, boutique to me means I have no ambition to have dozens of properties. What I really enjoy doing is taking care of the guests. I'm really into taking care of properties. I'm really good with my cleaning teams. We're friends, and my maintenance people. I love those relationships. So call it part hobby and maybe chapter 2 in my career, my personal life. But that's why I do it. And I don't anticipate more than 5, 6, 7 properties at any given time to manage. I also have kids in the area and kind of want a life after a somewhat grueling corporate life. So that's who I am. Thanks for watching, and feel free to reach out to me. But you have a little bit of background of who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. Thanks.